Have you ever disclosed something private only to regret later not keeping it confidential? As we age, we acquire insight but discover that some matters are best left unspoken. In this video, I'll unveil 5 crucial things you should never reveal to your relatives after 65. These confidences aren't about deceit, but about safeguarding your tranquility, honor, and connections. Stay tuned until the end, because grasping these could spare you from needless remorse and even fortify the ties with your cherished ones, giving you a sense of empowerment and control over your relationships. Before we start, I'd appreciate you giving this video a thumbs up. Your support helps me keep sharing these aging lessons. If you haven't joined, subscribe and activate the notification bell to catch all my videos. Please leave one in the comments if you enjoy this content. If it's not your preference, comment 0 so I can improv for you. Now, let's dive in. As time progresses, we gather wisdom lessons forged by experiences, successes, and setbacks. But alongside this knowledge, we also collect something less desirable: remorse. The longer we exist, the more we ponder our decisions, the paths we bypassed, and the words we held back. One frequent regret people voice later in life is divulging too much, sharing personal reflections, weaknesses, and burdens that should have stayed private, contrary to common belief. There's great strength in discerning what to reveal and what to withhold. Not every thought, concern, or painful recollection must be shared with those around you, even if they're family. It's not about deceit or concealment. It's about preserving your self-respect, maintaining your resilience, and ensuring your truths don't burden others. There are 5 specific things a prudent person should learn to keep private, such as financial troubles, past relationships, health issues, personal regrets, and family conflicts. Failing to do so can lead to unexpected outcomes. You might notice that people begin to perceive you differently, not with malice, but with a slight shift in perspective. You may no longer be viewed as robust, dependable, or someone others seek for advice. Instead, you might be seen as delicate, as someone requiring care rather than earning respect. Worse yet, those around you may start listening to you differently, not with esteem, but with a subtle sense of sympathy. Personal remorse is one of the most profound yet often ignored things to guard closely. Remorse is among the heaviest loads a person can bear. As we age, we naturally want to unburden ourselves by sharing our misgivings with family, hoping for relief or resolution. But while voicing regrets may offer temporary solace, it can also create enduring consequences that ripple through relationships in unforeseen ways. When a parent or elder shares their deepest remorse, especially with their children, it can alter how they view themselves and their paths. A father who admits he wishes he'd pursued a different profession might unintentionally prompt his children to question their choices. A mother who confesses she regrets a past relationship or a life-altering decision may unwittingly sow seeds of uncertainty, making her children wonder if they, too, are merely the outcome of mistakes rather than treasured decisions. These unintended consequences can shift the family dynamic, turning admiration into sadness and appreciation into guilt. Knowing someone they respect carries such deep sorrow that can be unsettling. It can change a family's dynamic, turning admiration into sadness and appreciation into guilt. Children may feel powerless and unable to alter the past, but they are weighed down by the knowledge that someone they love has lived with profound disappointment. They may even internalize these regrets, feeling as if their existence is tied to an unfortunate choice rather than a life well-lived. Moreover, focusing too much on the past can rob the present. When someone frequently talks about what might have been, what they should have done, or what they wish had occurred, it fosters an atmosphere of melancholy and yearning rather than gratitude for the moments still unfolding. It can make family members feel their presence isn't enough to bring happiness, as if the time spent together is overshadowed by what was lost rather than what endures. Instead of strengthening family ties, excessive sharing of remorse can unintentionally create distance. Conversations grow heavier, interactions tinged with sadness rather than warmth. Loved ones may feel they're carrying a burden they weren't meant to bear. Rather than feeling understood and comforted, the person sharing their regrets may feel more isolated, trapped in a cycle of reliving the past instead of embracing the time remaining. It's not about silencing your truth or pretending remorse doesn't exist. It's about recognizing that some emotions and reflections are best processed privately or with those who can offer guidance without unintended consequences. There's strength in restraint, wisdom in discretion, and peace in knowing that the most significant things in life aren't always those spoken aloud, but those carefully held within. There's also a real risk in letting reflection turn into resentment. It's natural to look back on life's choices, both wise and poor, and feel a mix of emotions. When done thoughtfully, expressing remorse can be a valuable exercise in growth. It fosters learning, self-awareness, and even the chance to share wisdom. However, when regrets dominate conversations, constantly focusing on past disappointments can strain relationships. Instead, let's focus on the lessons we can learn from these reflections. Fostering a sense of hope and optimism for the future, loved ones may begin to pull back not from lack of care, but because they feel powerless against something unchangeable. No matter how much they wish to comfort or support, they can't rewrite history. Being repeatedly reminded of past mistakes or missed chances can leave them emotionally drained. Over time, this can diminish the quality of interactions, turning them from meaningful exchanges into emotionally taxing experiences. The difference between healthy reflection and dwelling on remorse lies in recognizing when to voice concerns and when to keep thoughts private. It's not about suppressing emotions or avoiding important discussions, but about understanding how to communicate in ways that foster connection rather than burden others. Instead of focusing on what can't be changed, channeling those reflections into lessons that help others avoid similar mistakes can be more constructive and uplifting, making you feel understood and respected in your communication. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're still with me. Thank you for your precious time. Likewise, financial matters are deeply personal, yet they undeniably affect relationships. While honesty is vital, there's a delicate balance between transparency and oversharing, particularly when discussing money. How financial details are shared within a family can have lasting impacts, sometimes in ways that are hard to foresee. What may begin as a simple conversation about financial struggles, perhaps frustration over rising costs, retirement worries, or unexpected expenses can slowly instill concern in loved ones. Regardless of age, children may start feeling responsible for their parents' well-being, sometimes at the expense of their financial stability. A son or daughter who often hears about a parent's financial distress may feel compelled to help, even if it strains their family or goals. Over time, this well-meaning support can become stressful, creating a dynamic where love and care are tangled. With financial duties, the child may not resent their parents, but they may feel caught between their obligations and the pressure to assist. What started as a casual mention of financial worries can, over time, reshape the relationship, shifting it from one of mutual respect and emotional support to one defined by duty and financial strain. Conversely, openly discussing financial success can also have unintended effects. While there's nothing wrong with taking pride in achievements or enjoying the rewards of hard work, sharing too many details about prosperity can create unrealistic expectations among family members. Some may assume that because a parent or a relative is well off they should be provided for, leading to dependency. Moreover, wealth differences within a family can create underlying tensions, even if not openly discussed. Siblings who perceive financial imbalances may compare themselves, fostering jealousy, rivalry, or resentment. Conversations about inheritances, loans, or financial gifts can further complicate relationships, as differing expectations and perceived favoritism can spark conflicts that strain family bonds. Ultimately, while financial matters are unavoidable, they should be handled carefully. Transparency has its place, but it must be balanced with discretion. How financial struggles or successes are communicated can profoundly shape family dynamics, influencing relationships for years. Choosing words carefully, focusing on financial lessons rather than burdens or entitlements, and maintaining encouragement rather than expectation can preserve emotional and financial harmony within a family. The power of what to share and what to withhold shapes relationships. How we communicate plays a pivotal role in how connections evolve. What we reveal or keep private affects how others perceive and treat us. While openness and honesty are often seen as the foundation of strong relationships, there's also wisdom and restraint. Not every detail of our lives needs to be shared freely, as some topics, when discussed too openly, can alter interactions in ways that may not serve our best interests. One area where caution is essential is in conversations about finances. Money influences relationships more than we often realize. When financial details become a frequent topic, the dynamic can shift, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. Instead of being valued for your wisdom, kindness, or experiences, you risk being seen through a financial lens. If you're financially secure and share details of your wealth, some family members may begin to view you as a source of support rather than a loved one they respect. They may not intend this, but expectations can form as money enters the conversation. Relatives might grow comfortable asking for help, even if they wouldn't have before. Conversations may include hints about their struggles, and your generosity may be taken for granted rather than valued. On the other hand, sharing details about financial hardships can shift dynamics differently but is just as challenging. Family members who once saw you as independent may begin to view you as a burden. Even if they care deeply, they may approach conversations cautiously, worrying about your struggles. Some may even distance themselves, unsure how to help or unwilling to take on added responsibility. Both scenarios, seen as a financial resource or burden, can erode genuine connections vital to healthy relationships. The love and respect shared with family shouldn't be swayed by money, yet it's hard to prevent such shifts when financial details are shared too freely. There's great wisdom in handling financial discussions carefully. While transparency with a trusted spouse or partner is important, sharing extensive details with extended family is often unnecessary and sometimes unwise. Instead of revealing specifics about your financial situation, offering guidance, sharing financial wisdom, and helping others build their financial literacy is often better. By leading through example rather than disclosure, you maintain control over your financial narrative while offering valuable insights. The delicate nature of family opinions also requires care. Family relationships are intricate, shaped by history, emotions, and long-standing dynamics. It can be tempting to voice personal opinions about family members, especially during frustration or emotional intensity. Sharing those thoughts may feel like a natural release, a chance to confide in someone trusted. However, what seems like a harmless opinion can have lasting consequences beyond the moment. Words, once spoken, cannot be undone. They have the power to shape relationships in ways that may not be immediately clear but can unfold over time. One major risk of openly sharing strong opinions about a family member is the division it can create. A single comment about a son-in-law's shortcomings, a sharp critique of a sibling, or frustration toward an adult child can linger in the minds of those who hear it. Even if spoken confidently, such words can spread, sometimes unintentionally, sometimes in ways we never anticipated. Imagine a grandparent expressing disappointment in a granddaughter's career choice. Once shared with another family member, that sentiment doesn't disappear. It may be repeated, subtly or directly, until it reaches the granddaughter. Even if spoken out of concern, those words may wound her, making her feel she must prove herself, or that her family dismissed her. This is why discretion is vital in maintaining strong family bonds. Withholding certain opinions isn't about deceit but recognizing the weight words carry. Healthy relationships require careful navigation. Not every thought or frustration needs to be voiced. There's great power and restraint in balancing honesty, with consideration for how words will be received and how they'll shape cherished relationships. If you're still watching and finding these lessons helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're with me. Thank you for your valuable time. The impact of health-focused conversations also merits attention. As we age, health discussions naturally increase. Our bodies change, new challenges emerge, and managing medical concerns becomes a priority. However, when health dominates every conversation, it can subtly change how family members perceive and interact with us. When younger relatives frequently hear about ailments, doctor visits, or physical limitations, they may perhaps unconsciously begin to see their aging loved ones as fragile or dependent, where they once viewed their elders as strong, wise, and capable. They may approach interactions with concern, caution, or pity. This shift is rarely intentional or unkind. It's often rooted in love, but can still alter dynamics. It's important to share health updates when needed, but equally vital to ensure health doesn't define interactions. Conversations should include laughter, stories, and discussions about hobbies, interests, and meaningful experiences. By maintaining well-rounded dialogue, we reinforce that we're more than our physical state. We're individuals with rich histories, valuable insights, and ongoing contributions. But managing fear and anxiety in conversations is also key. Fear is a natural part of aging, with uncertainties about health, loneliness, or the future. Expressing concerns is normal, but when conversations focus heavily on fear and anxiety, it can burden those around us. Loved ones may want to reassure them, but they may feel helpless without solutions. Over time, if interactions consistently center on worries, family members may approach conversations with obligation rather than joy. Strength doesn't come from ignoring fear, but from refusing to let it overshadow the present. By focusing on joy, gratitude, and shared experiences, relationships remain rooted in warmth and connection rather than anxiety. In conclusion, discretion isn't about withholding love or avoiding meaningful conversations. It's about knowing when and how to share to strengthen relationships. Whether it's financial matters, personal opinions, health concerns, or fears about the future, careful consideration ensures relationships remain filled with trust, respect, and genuine connection. The strongest relationships are built on wisdom, kindness, and gracefully navigating life's complexities. We've explored 5 key things: best kept, private after 65, not to deceive, but to protect your peace, honor, and relationships. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What insight from this video will you apply in your life? Share one thing in the comments below. Learn and grow together. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us keep creating valuable content for you.